So today we are going to discuss about files in C. So a file is a place on the disk where a group of related data is stored. So here it is about secondary memory. Secondary memory means disk. For example, in our mobile we have RAM and external storage. So that external storage will come under the category disk. So in disk we can store some data. So we can store some data permanently. So RAM means the data stored in RAM is always volatile. It is not permanently. We can only store temporarily in RAM, but in disk we can store it permanently. So a file is a place on the disk where a group of related data is stored. So this is a file. So if this is a disk, this is a file. So yesterday you have written on exam and you have scanned the copy of that examination sheet. So it is actually stored in your external storage of mobile phone. So it can be considered as a file. A file represents a sequence of bytes regardless of it being a text file or a binary file. So all the files will contain some sequence of bytes. We all know what is bytes. Group of 8 bits is called bytes. Either it may be a text file or a binary file. It is always a sequence of bytes. Text file means it will contain some text data. Some alphanumeric data will be there in text file. And in binary file, the content will be zeros and ones. But when it is stored internally, both the text file and binary file will be in the form of zeros and ones. Basic file operations. Renaming a file. We all know file will have some file name. We can rename that file. Opening a file. So to read the content of a file or to read the data, we have to open the file. So opening a file is a basic file operation. Reading data from a file is a basic file operation. Writing data to file is a basic file operation, and closing a file. So here what we are going to study, we know how to rename a file. We just right click on the file and you will just type the renaming. But that we already know, but here what we are going to study is how to rename a file through a C program. How to open a file through a C program. So all these operations will be discussed. How to do all these operations through the C program will be discussed in this session. C language communicates with the file using a new data type called file pointer. So C language communicates with the file using a new data type called file pointer. It is declared as below, file star fp. Remember, this file file is capital. Since it is a pointer, we have a star fp. Fp means pointer variable. So this is here fp is a file pointer, points to some file. So anyway, we are going to study about how to open a file, how to close a file, how to read data from a file, how to write data to file. Next is opening and closing data files. So to perform some operation, first thing is we have to open that file. A file is opened by using the function fopen. This has two parameters: the name of the file to be opened, the mode to use. So example, here first, for every file operations, you have to create a file pointer. The file pointer is created. fp equal to fp open abc.txt, r. So here I am going to open a file with file name abc. File name abc. It is of type text. It is of type text. So this something after dot is called extension, and it helps to identify the type of the file, followed by mode. Here R means read mode. We are opening this file abc.txt to read the content of that file, that file. Similarly, we have some other modes, so that we will discuss in the next slide. So the syntax is of fopen is fopen within bracket. You have to write file name, comma, the mode. Here I have written it as read. Read means read mode. I am opening this file in to read the data from the file. So later everything will be referred using this file pointer. FP here actually FP refers file ABC. File ABC. A file is closed by using the function fclose. So similar to fopen, we have fclose. You just write fclose fp. So what will happen? I already told you fp refers ABC. So here fclose fp means the file abc.txt will be closed. File abc.txt will be closed. Always remember fopen has two parameters, file name and mode. Fclose has only one parameter, that is a file pointer. Okay, these are the file opening modes. So in the earlier slide we have studied R. Similar to that we have some other modes. So R for opening for reading. So we are opening a file for reading the content of data. Reading the content of data means read the content of data using a C program. Suppose we are opening a file which is not there, or if the file does not exist, fopen returns null. Null means null is a pointer. Null is a pointer, empty pointer. Okay. RB refers open for reading in binary mode. So binary mode means zeros and ones. It is also a read mode, but RB refers it reads in zeros and ones. If the file does not exist, fopen returns null. So if there is not any such file, it will return a null pointer. W, opening for writing. Suppose I want to store something to the file. So at that time, the mode will be W. The mode will be W. If the file exists, its content are overwritten. Suppose I have already, there's a file. I am trying to open a file in writing mode, which is already there in the disk. And you just imagine it already contains some data. If some data is there, that data will be overwritten. That data will be overwritten. If the file does not exist, it will be created. If the file does not exist, it will be created. So if we are opening a file in writing mode and the file is not in the disk, what will happen? The file will be created. Similarly, W means opening for writing in binary mode. If the file exists, its contents are overwritten. So these two are same, but only thing is, first thing will be reading the file, second will be reading the file in binary mode. Next is A. Open for append. Data is added to the end of the file. So suppose I have a file. And I have some data. Suppose I want to add some more data. In that case, I will open the file in append mode. Append means attaching in the end. So if the file does not exist, it will be created. If the file is not in the disk, it will be created. So it is actually repeating. Okay. Similarly, AB. AB is to append in binary mode. Data is added to the end of the file. If the file does not exist, it will be created. So far we studied RB, W, WB, AB. So the next thing is, along with all these modes, we have a plus, R plus. If a file is opened in R plus mode, it is open for both reading and writing. You can perform both reading and writing in this file. If the file does not exist, fopen returns null. Similarly, here I have RB plus. It is for reading and writing in binary mode. Next, W plus. W plus means here also we are opening for reading and writing, but the difference is if the file exists, its contents are overwritten. If the file does not exist, it will be created. So earlier what happens in R plus, if the file does not exist, fopen returns null. Here, if the file does not exist, it will be created because it is opened in W plus, here it is in R plus. So here also WB plus, which is to read and write in binary mode. Here if the file does not exist, it will be created. Here early in RB plus, if the file does not exist, fopen returns null. Fopen returns null. A plus is for in A plus mode, it is open for both reading and appending. If the file does not exist, it will be created. AB plus means open for both reading and appending in binary mode. If the file does not exist, it will be created. Okay, these are the modes in which a files can be opened. The important modes are R, W, and A. If you know these three modes, you can write almost all the programs in files. So far we discussed about the introduction to files. Any doubt in these topics? Please respond. Anybody have any doubt in the first slide? Second slide, always remember fopen has two parameters, file name and mode, and file opening modes. Okay. Okay, next is input and output operation on files. Input and output operation on files. Suppose I have a file. Inputting means putting something to the file. Output operation means taking something out of file or reading the file. Output means read. Input means write. This is a file. First one is the getC and putC function. Next we are going to study the Fgetc and Fputc function. Then getW and putW function. Then Fscanf and Fprintf functions. Fgettest and Fputest functions. So these 5 set of functions we have to study. These are all these 5 have different purposes. And we complete all these things. We know how to read and write data to file and write data to file and read data out of the file. So first thing we are going to discuss is the getC and putC function. Can handle one character at a time. That is the important point you have to remember. getC and putC can handle one character at a time. So we are writing character by character or reading character by character. PutC C comma fp1. C is the character variable. C is the variable which contains some character. fp1 is the file pointer. fp1 is the file pointer. while character contained in the character variable C to the, okay, here what will put C do? Write character contained in the character variable C to the file associated with pointer FP. So in this variable C, some character will be there and it will be returned to the file pointer associated with, file associated with the pointer FP. Next is getCFP. Read a character from the file whose file pointer is FP. The file pointer moves by one character for each operation of getC and putC. Suppose I have a file which contains some A, B, C, D data. So when getC is called, first the file pointer will be pointing to A. The file pointer will be pointing to A. Once the getC is called, the A will be read. Then what happens? This file pointer will move to the next character. Then B will be read. Then the file pointer will move to the next character. That's the meaning of this statement. The file pointer moves by one character for each operation, for every operation of getC and putC. Suppose I am writing something to the file. I have an empty file. The file pointer will be here. Suppose I am writing A, so A will be written here. After writing A, the file pointer will move to the next position. So if I write B, B will come in the next position. The getC will return an end of the file. The getC will return an end of file marker EOF. So here in this file I have only 4 characters. So to denote the end of the file, I have a special character called EOF. EOF denotes end of the file. Similar to that /0, to denote end of the file, we have EOF. The reading should be terminated when EOF is encountered. So in a file, the data up to the EOF is only valid. Up to the EOF is only valid. So one more thing, when we read and write something to the file, the EOF is not visible to the user. The EOF is not visible to the programmer or to the user. It is there in the file, but we can't see it. So here I had to do 2 exercises. Write a program to read data from keyboard and write it to file. So what we have to do here, we will type something in the keyboard. That data must be stored to file. Write a program to read content of a file and display it on the screen. So the file will contain some data and then has to be displayed on the screen. So here we are going to do the program with the help of getC and putC. So I already done the programs. So first we will look at the putC example. So here you all know what is line number 4. It is a file pointer. Line number 5 is a character variable. Line number 6. We are opening a file abc.txt in write mode. In write mode. That means we are going to write some data to file abc.txt. Next I have given a message print enter some data. Next I have a while loop. So while loop is c equal to getChar not equal to hash. So I will explain this. So the innermost bracket contains c equal to getChar. The purpose of getChar is to read character from the keyboard. Read character from the keyboard. So you just imagine I first entered k. So that k will be stored in C. Next that k will be compared with hash. Next that k will be compared with hash. If k is not equal, since k not equal to hash, what will happen? This statement will be executed. Put C, comma fp. So what is fp? Fp already I have opened a file called abc.txt. I already opened a file called abc. So first character k will be put to that file abc because fp refers abc. Again this while loop will be executed. Just thing I entered some value I. So I will be stored in C. Then that C value will be compared with hash. So I and hash are not equal. So this statement will be again executed. Now put C, comma fp. Now C contain I. So I will be inserted to file. Next suppose user entered n. N will be stored in C. C will be compared with hash. Sorry, n will be compared with C will be compared with hash. C contains n. N and hash are not equal. So this put C, comma fp will work. So n will be inserted. Similarly, user will enter G. So G also will be inserted. Next, user just enters hash. When hash is entered, what will happen? This condition is false. So no more characters will be inserted. So hash will not be inserted to this file. So here in this program, I used hash to just to denote the end of the input. Hash is used to denote end of the input. You can use any character. Instead of hash, you can use $, you can use star, you can use some exclamatory symbol. Any symbol can be used. So because when we write character by character to the file, to denote that end of the character, I am using a special symbol. Any symbols can be used. But that symbol will not be written to the file. Will not be written to the file. So here only thing you have to understand is this statement. First thing is C equal to getChar will be executed. At that time, the input provided by the user will be stored to C. Then that value will be compared with hash. If that value is not equal to hash, that value will be inserted to file. Any doubt in this program? Any doubt? If it is clear, please respond with a clear message. Only getting few responses. Mayankraj. Mayankraj is not here. Rohit PB.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, Rohit?
Clear, sir.
Okay. So here, one more thing. Here the program is running in on folder called fpc online files ex put cex.c. So here I have only some C programs. So here actually I am writing in abc.txt. abc.txt. I am opened abc.txt in write mode. So in write mode, if I open a file and if the file doesn't exist, what will happen? I am opening a file in write mode and you just imagine the file is not there in the disk. What will happen? The file will be created. So here I have only C files. So I am going to execute this program. So now let's look at the folder abc.txt. A file is created. You just look at the time. Time is 8:31. It is just now created. Just only this file is created. So what will happen? If a file is opened in write mode and if the file doesn't exist, that file will be created. That file will be created. So I'm just opening that file. Now the file abc.txt is empty. Now the file abc.txt is empty. Here I am entering some data through the C programming. I'm just entering good morning. Good morning. To denote end of that character, that means if I entered all the required data that has to be stored, I just press hash. I'm pressing hash and just giving an enter key. Now what I am expecting good morning will be there in the file abc.txt. So I am opening the file abc.txt. Now good morning is written in that file. Good morning is written in that file. Is it clear? Okay, I hope this program is clear. Okay. Again I am executing the program. So I will come back to the modes. So W means opening a file. If the file exists, its contents are overwritten. If the file doesn't exist, it will be created. If the file doesn't exist, it will be created. It is created. So now ABC contains good morning. Suppose I am executing the program again. I am opening ABC. One more thing you have to write in every program. F close FP. After using that file, you have to close it. For that, you have to write F close FP. So here the file pointer is FP. Again I am executing the file. What will happen? This file is already there in the disk. So the contents will be overwritten. So it didn't enter any data. So now the file doesn't contain any data. The contents are overwritten. The contents are overwritten because it is an already existing file and we opened it in write mode. So enter some data. I'm giving some hello world. Sorry, I had to press a hash. So now hello world is there. Good morning is overwritten and hello world is printed. Okay. Okay, next is write a program to read content of a file and display it on the screen. So for that I have to use getC. getC example. So here I have a pointer called *f. Here I am declaring a character because I am reading the data from the file character by character. I am opening f equal to fopen abc.txt in read mode. Here I am opening the file in read mode. While c not equal to EOF. I already told you the character EOF denotes end of the file. The end of the file is denoted by a special character called EOF. If c not equal to initially C will contain some data. Initially C will contain some data. Some random data will be there. It will not be EOF. So no need to initialize the C. While C not equal to EOF, C equal to get C of F. Get C of F means F points to abc.txt. abc.txt contains hello world. So first character, initially the pointer will be pointing to H. That H will be stored to C. And then C will be printed. Again the while loop will be executed. Okay. First the pointer will be pointing to H. That H will be read out of the file and stored in C. Then what happens is the pointer will move to E. The pointer will move to E. So after that, one statement is there. Printf %C, C. Now C contains H. So H will be printed. Again, we will check whether C not equal to EOF. Now C is actually H. So C equal to get C of F. I already told you after reading H, the file pointer is pointing to E. So here E will be read and stored in C. So next that E will be printed. Similarly, all the files, all the characters will be printed. So after D, you just think there is some end marker called EOF. I already told you, EOF will not be visible in the file. EOF can't be visible in the file. So I am executing the program. So here, hello world is printed. So what happened? I have read the file from the data and printed on the screen using C program. That's all about put C and get C. Any doubt in these two functions? Please respond. If anybody have any doubt, please ask. If these two programs are clear, please type clear in the chat box. Okay. Okay, next is FgetC and FputC functions. It is very similar to getC and putC. The same as getC and putC. The only change is in file names. Instead of FgetC, you have to write FgetC. Instead of putC, you have to write FputC. So you will see the example for that also. So internally some differences will be there, but it will work as the same. FgetC, I didn't write the program. So what I am going to do is put C, get C. So I am just modifying this program. Fputc.c, save. This one also I am modifying. Fgetc.c, save. So here I am just changing the files, changing only statement 9. Instead of putc, I am modifying it to fputc. Here here also line number 9, instead of getc, I am modifying it to fgetc. And I am giving a new file name. Instead of abc, I am giving xyz. So first I am executing fputc. So here if you look at that, xyz is created. I am entering some data. Good day. And I am pressing hash. So now XYZ will contain good day. Similarly, I am using this Fgetc to read the data. I have read good day from XYZ. So the functionalities of putc and fputc are same. Similarly, the functionalities of getc and fgetc are also same. So there is no need of any confusion in these two. You can use either one of that. Okay. Next is the getW and putW functions. GetW and putW are integer oriented, can handle one integer at a time. It is also very similar to putc and getc. There we are reading characters and writing characters. Here we are writing integers and also we are reading integers. So only difference is putW and getW. So here we have to do two programs. Write a program to write integers 1 to 10 to a file. Write a program to read content of above written file and display it on the screen. I have already done the program, so I will open it. GetW and putW. Okay. Here first thing is putW, because we are doing the first program. Write a program to write integers 1 to 10 to a file. 1 to 10 to a file. Here file pointer, line number 4. I have an integer variable I. I have opened FP in write mode. Then I have a for loop because I am writing integers 1 to 10 to a file. So I value will be iterating from 1 to 10. In each iteration I am putting that I value to the file. I value to the file. First one will be inserted, then 2 will be inserted, then up to 10 will be inserted. So here the file name is efg.txt. So listen carefully, I am executing the program. So now message will be printed because it is just storing 1 to 10 in the file. So the EFG file is created. Here actually what I have written is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10. But I can't read that data. I can't read that data. Why? Because it is a text file. Text file can only read text data. Actually what I have written is an integer data. An integer data. That's why those values 1 up to 10 is not inserted to, not visible to the user. Only some rectangle symbols are visible. Okay. Only some rectangle symbols are visible. So next I am using getW. Here file pointer is there to integer variables. I am opening that file efg.txt in read mode. And I have a for loop because I already know it contains some 4 integer values. X equal to getW of fp. So it will read integer by integer and it will be displayed to the screen. So I am executing this file. So now it is visible in the file. Now the contents are visible. When I directly open the file, it is not visible because it is a text file. But via C program or through C program, we can extract those integer values. So the function is very similar to our putc and getc. They are character followed by file pointer. Here it is integer followed by file pointer. Here same. Only when I am using get function, only thing is I am giving file pointer. The value returned is an integer, so that has to be stored in integer and it has to be printed. Okay. Any doubt in this get W and put W? If it is clear, please respond with a clear message. If get W and put W are clear, please respond with a clear message. Okay, thank you. This is Fscanf and Fprintf function. The Fscanf function is used to read formatted input from the file. Am I audible? Please respond. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the Fscanf and Fprintf function. We all know what is the purpose of scanf function. Scanf function is to read the user input. Similarly, Fscanf function is used to read formatted input from the file. Formatted input from the file. So the file will already contain some data. To read those data, we are using Fscanf. It works just like scanf function. Instead of reading data from the standard input, that means instead of reading data from the keyboard, it reads data from the file. So here, if you look at this part, it is very similar to scanf statement. Here I am reading some data. First thing is an integer, next name, next mark. So %d, %s, and %f is given. Actually, there is no commas. 1 minute. It is very similar to scanf statement, but we have one more parameter called fp to denote the file. From which file I have to read this data. And instead of scanf, we have fscanf. Next is the fprintf state function is same as printf, but instead of writing data to console, it writes formatted data to the file. So printf is to write something to the console. Console means that output window. Similarly, fprintf is to write some formatted data to the file. This is also similar to printf function, but we have to specify the file pointer as a parameter. We have to write file pointer as a parameter here. And one example is there, fprintf fp comma good morning. So this will print good morning to the file. So these things will be clear when we write these two examples. Write a program to create student database containing fields, register number, name and mark. And write a program to read student database containing fields, register number, name and marks. So we'll do this program. So I already written this program, so I will open it and explain it. Fprintf and fscanf. Okay, line number 4 is a file pointer. I have an integer because here I am reading some register number. To store register number using a variable called R. Then I have to store name, so I declared a character array. Then I have one character called C, and it is initialized as Y. Float M to store mark. Float M is to store mark. So I am opening a file called studentdetail.txt in write mode because I am going to write some data. Next I am writing fprintf fp comma register number /t name /t mark /n. So here what my aim is to create a table-like structure in the file. So the table means some columns will be there. Each and every column will have some heading. So some table headers also will be there. So this line is to create the table header. So I will show you how it execute. So I'm just commenting the remaining lines. So here if you notice, I have only 3 text files. There is no text file like student_det.txt. So I'm executing the file. So some processes are done. So now the file is created. Look, now the file header is created. Register number is returned to file. Then some tab space is given. The tab space is also there in the file. Then name is printed. After that I have a tab space. Then mark. So then after the space there is mark. So this statement is to print the table header. Okay. So next I am going to write a menu driven program. So first we will enter some student data. If I want to enter more data, I will press Y. If I press Y, I can enter another student data. After entering the student data, again I can give the choice, yes or no. Do you want to continue, yes or no? If I press yes, I can enter one more data. Instead of yes, if I press Y, instead of Y, I pressed N, what happens? I can't continue. If I already entered 2 student data, the 2 students data will be stored in file. So for that, printf enter register number, name, marks, and enter name and marks. I am using a scanf statement, the normal scanf statement, to read data from the keyboard. Next, I used a printf statement. I already have rank in R, name in N, M in mark. That I have to print to a file. I have to input to a file. For that I am using fprintf followed by file pointer, then rank followed by /t. So in place of %d, that R value will be printed. Then a /t will be printed. Then there is a %s. In place of %s, n will be printed. The name value will be printed. And there is %f. In place of %f, the m value will be printed. The mark will be printed. These things are printed to a file because it is an fprintf statement. Always remember, in fprintf you have to specify the file pointer also. Next I am printing on statement. This is a printf statement. So this will be printed to the output screen. Do you want to continue Y bar N? Yes or no? At that time user will enter Y or N. C equal to get ch. So that get ch will read that character. If the character is N, that means either N or small n, break. Break means there is no need to continue. It will come out of the while loop. If you remember the usage of break, you know it helps to come out of the while loop. So break will execute from the while loop. So these statements will not be executed anymore. Okay, I will execute the program. At that time you will get a clear picture. Enter register number, name and mark 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2 CVB and mark some 56. I am pressing enter. Do you want to continue? Now I am giving Y because I want to enter one more student detail, Y. So enter register number, name and mark. I have to enter register number of next student, 45. HJK, 42 is the mark. Pressing enter key. Do you want to continue? I am giving Y again. Again I am entering some register number, 78, YUI. 29 marks. Do you want to continue? N. I am giving N. The program is terminated. So you have to understand the concept of getch here. So I think first time we are seeing getch. So what happens in getch is, so here I pressed Y, here I typed N, but that Y and N are not appearing in the screen. It is not appearing in the screen. So that's a specialty of getch. Actually I pressed Y, that Y will be stored in C, but it will not be displayed in the keyboard. Actually I typed Y in keyboard. But whenever I press Y, that character I entered will be stored to C, but it will not appear in the screen. So when I typed this 12, it appeared in the screen. When I typed the CVB, it appeared in the screen. Similarly, I typed Y and N also, but it doesn't appear on the screen because I used the function. For that only I used the function getch. Okay, let us open that file. The file is studentdetail.txt. Now look at that. The data we have entered is there in the file in the tabular format, in a database format. Database means table, interrelated data. Any doubt in this program? Anybody have any doubt in any statements of this program? Please respond. Anu Fasmin?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts?
No, sir. Clear.
Okay. So next we are going to see about Fscanf. Okay. So before studying Fscanf, we will study one function called FEOF. FEOF. FEOF is a function which returns non-zero if end of the file is reached. Otherwise returns 0. FEOF means file EOF, FP. So it will have two values, non-zero value and 0. So when it reaches the end of the file marker, it will return a non-zero value. Otherwise it always return 0 value. For any other characters, it will return 0 value. It will return value 0. So one more specialty is there for, okay, EOF. EOF is, okay, that is the functionality EOF. It gives non-zero value if end of the file is reached, otherwise it returns 0. Okay. So before going to the program, I am just opening the file. So my aim is to read this file. I have already written a file. I am also writing a program to read this file. Read the content of the file. So I have a file pointer, int r to store rank, character n. N is to store the name, m is to store the M is to store the mark. I have opened the file stud underscore det.txt in read mode because I am going to read the content of the file. So I already know this will be the content of the file. And one more thing I know is the first line always will be register number, name and mark. Because here in this printf statement, I have written register number, name and mark. This program is specifically written to read this type of files. So we already know the first statement or the first line will contain some column headers. So column headers means all the data in that column header will be of type string. All the data in that column header will be of type string. So I am declaring some more character arrays. H1 for header 1, H2 for header 2, H3 for header 3. Then I have a scanf statement. Scanf fp comma percentages comma h1, h2, h3. So what will happen? Here first string register number will be stored in h1. Next, second string name will be stored in h2. Third string mark will be stored in h3. So this scanf statement is specifically written to read the header data. Next I have written a printf statement. Printf percentages /t percentages /t percentages /n h1 h2 h3. So this header data will be printed in the console or in the output screen. The header data will be printed in the output screen. To print the header data in the output screen, I have used this printf statement. Okay. Next I have a while loop. While f(eof fp equal to 0. So what's the meaning? Whenever f(eof returns 0, I have to execute these statements. Here two statements are commented. The purpose of that two lines we will discuss later. For the time being, you just imagine I have only two statements, 13 and 16. So when EOF returns 0, these statements will be repeatedly executed. FEOF 0 means end of the file is not reached. Returns non-zero if end of the file is reached. Otherwise returns 0. That means here I am checking whether it is 0. So here I am written. Okay, just removing that also. Fscanf fp %d %f r comma n comma m. We have already read this line. With the help of this fscanf statement. So the file pointer will be pointing to 12. So there what is my expectation? Integer followed by a string followed by a floating number. So I have given %d integer, %string, %f is a floating number. Those data has to be stored in Rn and M. So first line 12 will be in R, CVB will be in N, 56 will be in M. That data is printed. This is to print the data in the output screen. Again this while loop will be executed. The end of the file is not reached. So similarly this second line also will be printed in the output screen. Again end of the file is not reached. The third line also will be printed in the output screen. So this fscanf is to read data from the file. Fprintf is to read that same data to the output console or to the output screen. So it will print all the three rows. Table header is already printed. Let me execute the program. So this is the content of the file. This is the content of the file. This is the output. So if you notice, I got an extra row. The last row is printed once again. The last row is printed once again. So that is the minor problem in this program. Minor problem in this program. The last row will be repeatedly printed. To avoid that, what you have to do is have to write something like k equal to fscanf. So fscanf is a library function. We already discussed about scanf. Scanf is also a library function, is to read the data. So if you remember, I told you scanf will return on value. So if I am writing 3% Ds, it will return the value 3. If I write 2% Ds, it will return the value 2. If I write %D, %F, %D, there also it will return 3. Because 3 format specifiers are written there. 3 format specifiers are written there. So I think I done the example also. Similarly, fscanf also return the same type of values. Here I have %D, %S, %F. 3 types of data are printed. So it will return a value 3. That will be stored in K. That will be stored in K. So if K not equal to 3, break. If K not equal to 3, break. I already told you here there is a minor problem. But for our advantage, when this last line is printed, the K value returned will be not equal to 3. I think it is 0. For our advantage, I already told you the last line will be printed twice. So when the last line is printed for the second time, the value returned by the fscanf is 0. Fscanf is 0. Because actually it is reading only 3 lines. Actually this printf statement is executing twice. That is what happening there. This printf statement is executing twice. The last when the file is read to the end, this printf statement is executing twice. At that time, actually, this fscanf is not reading anything. It will the printf just print the previous data. So at that time, this fscanf value returned by the fscanf will be 0. So what happens if k not equal to 3? So otherwise you can write if k equal to 3, equal to 0. That will give more clarity. If k equal to 0, break. So now I am executing the program. Or it is not working. So it's better go with not equal to 3. Okay. So now it is only printed 3 rows. So when the first row is printed, the value of k is 3. So this break statement will not execute. When the second row is printed, the value of k is 3. So the break will not execute. And when the third row is printed, the value of k is 3. So the break will not be executed. But already know actually there is almost statement is printing before I am including these k values. At that time the k value will not be 3. So it will be a value not equal to 3. At that time it is break. Break means the remaining statement means this printf statement is not executed anymore. It will come out of the loop. It will come out of the loop. So one more thing, forgot to mention. You have to write fclose. Fclose fp. Here also you have to write fclose fp. Okay, any doubt in these two programs? It's very easy. It is very similar to printf and scanf. The only tweak I am making is in these two statements. The only minor change. Because I got a minor problem. To find the solution, I made this change. Any doubt? If it is clear, please respond with a clear message. Okay. So one more function we have to study. It's a very simple function. Not the getters and Fputters function. So if you remember putters and getters, it will be very easy. Putters is to put some string onto the screen. Getters is to read some string from the keyboard. Similarly, Fputters is to read some string to the file. Fgettest is to read some string from the file. The Fputters function is used to print a string to the file. The format is fputters str, fp. The null character /0 is not returned to the file. It will not return to the file. The syntax of Fgettest function is Fgettest str n, fp. So here one additional parameter n is there. The function reads a string from the file pointed by the fp into memory pointed by str. So I have a file, some data is there. I have a str, that means generally it will be a character array, or it can be a character pointer also. So that data will be stored here. First character will be stored here, second character will be stored in the second cell, third character will be stored in the third cell. So it will fill the array, it will fill the character array. Memory pointed by str. It can be either a character array or a character pointer. Both will work. The function reads character from the file. The function reads the character from the file until either a new line is read, or n-1 character is read, or EOF is encountered. So three possibilities are there. Suppose I have written something like str. Okay, 1 minute. Three conditions you have to understand. Suppose I am reading this one, A, B, C, D, E, F. And in n I am giving, for example, n I am giving 5. Just imagine n is 5. The function reads character from the file until either a new line. So here after ABC there is a new line. After ABC the next character are written in new line. So using this function we can read only ABC. We can read only ABC. Okay. Next case. I am giving some 3. The function reads character from the file until either a new line is read or n-1 character is read. N is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So this will print only A and B. This will print only A and B because 3 minus 1 is 2. Here new line is not reached, but n-1 character is reached. N-1 character is reached. Because n is 3, n-1 character means 2 characters. A and B is read. Next case. Suppose I have 5. Here you just imagine there is no new line, only one single line is in the file, so that slash n will not be there in the file. Slash n will not be there in the file. So n minus 1 character means 4 character. Here I have 3 characters and there is no slash n. At that time what happens? After ABC there will be EOF. So the third condition will work. The function reads a string from the function reads character from the file until either a new line, there is no new line, is read, or n minus 1 character is read. Here n is 5. I only read 3 characters, so that condition is also not reached. Or EOF is encountered. Now EOF is encountered. So what happens? The characters up to EOF will be read. The characters up to EOF will be read. After reading the string, it appends null string /0. So this ABC is stored to string array ABC. Sorry, string array str. In str I am storing ABC. Once these 3 values are read, what happens? String, after reading the string, it appends null string. Here null string will be appended. Here in this array, null string will be appended. Any doubt? Please respond. Any doubt? If it is clear, please type clear in the chat box. Please respond. If anybody have any doubt, please ask. Okay, thank you. Write a program to store a paragraph about a given topic into a file, maximum 100 characters. Maximum 100 characters. Write a program to read above file. Okay. Already written the program. Ffgettest and Ffputtest open. I have a file pointer. I have a string. I have opened one file called topic.txt in write mode because I am going to write a paragraph. Printf enter some data. Some data will be entered. So user will enter some data through keyboard. So gettest of str, that data will be stored in str. And puttest str comma fp. Puttest str comma fp. So if you notice, there is no file called topic.txt. I am going to execute the program. Now topic.txt is created. Now I am entering some paragraph. So I entered some data. I am opening topic.txt. So that data is there in topic.txt file. So this is very simple program. Read a string, put that string to the file. Next, gettest. Again, I have declared a string. fpf open. The topic.txt is written in read mode. So here also I am writing fclose. I forgot to write fclose. Even if I didn't write it, it will work, but it is a good practice. Ffgettest topic.txt will be opened in read mode. str comma 100 comma fp. You know the meaning. It will read the characters until a new line reached, or some 99 characters are read, or end of the file is reached. So I am executing the file. So the entire data is read. This is the same data that is in the file topic.txt. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Some more functions I have discussed, very simple functions. EOF we already discussed. Remove. Remove is to delete a file. Remove is to delete a file. So you just give remove, within bracket you have to just give the file name. No need of any file pointer. Just give the file name. It will delete. Here I am given remove temp.txt. tmp.txt is deleted from the current directory. From current directory. Similarly, I have rename function. Rename abc.txt, xyz.txt. abc will, if there is a file abc in the directory, it will be renamed to xyz. File abc.txt is renamed to xyz.txt. If the file name is renamed successfully, 0 is returned. So this rename function is returning some values also. So if it is successfully renamed, it will return 0. On failure, a non-zero value will be returned. Sometime you may try to rename a file which is not existing. If ABC is not in the directory and if I am trying to rename it, what happen? The renaming will not happen because the file is not there. At that time, what will happen? A non-zero value will be returned. A non-zero value will be returned. So I will illustrate both the examples. Just giving test.c. Save. So here I have some files. So just imagine I am deleting the topic.txt file. Main. Remove topic.txt. Because here test.c and topic.c must be, topic.x must be in same directory. Then only it will work. Otherwise we have to mention the path. So I am executing the program. So topic.txt is here. One minute. Topic.txt is here. I am executing the program. Look, the topic.txt is vanished. It is not there. Okay. Next is renaming. Example for renaming. I am renaming this EFG to some other thing. So rename efg.txt, comma, I am giving some hello dot, sorry, in double quotes, hello.txt. You just watch it closely. This EFG will be renamed to hello.txt. EFG is changed to hello.txt. Okay. Those are the other file handling functions. So we studied how to open, how to rename, how to remove, how to close, how to read, how to write. So 3 programs we have to do. So anyway, it is already on almost 1.5 hours. So these 3 programs will be done in the afternoon session. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.